Chantel goes off on Royal's wife, Angenette. Guys, what is up? Max here, the Celeb Talk Guy, and the family Chantel was on last night. I'm done trying to convince you guys to watch this show. If you do not watch this show, you're missing out big time. And I know a lot of you guys give me a lot of hate for watching the show and talking about this show, but I don't even care. I freaking love it. And last night's episode was just so good. And it just showed us, number one, how dumb Chantel's mom, Karen, is, and number two, how mean Chantel is. So let's just jump right into this one. Like I just said, Chantel, she honestly really went off on Angenette. She told her off, and she even told her to stay in the Philippines, basically meaning that she should break up and I guess end her marriage with her brother Royal. So if you're wondering, well, why did she say that? This is just how stupid and mean this family really is. What happened was, in the last episode, Chantel and Pedro and the mom and dad and the siblings and Royal and Angenette had this family meeting. And basically what happened was, at the end of the meeting, Angenette told the family that, you know, Royal said that Chantel was stupid. He said that he has not a good relationship with the family, that they're loud and that they're obnoxious and, you know, everything. He basically just told off the family behind their back to Angenette, and Angenette told the whole family. And then one thing kind of led to another, and Chantel brought up some concerns that her mother might possibly have messaged her Uncle Runson on Facebook. Now, they didn't say if these messages were like romantic or if they were just kind of saying, you know, hey, hi, like they were. That was the dumbest thing. No one really said, well, what were these messages? But Chantel did ask Angenette, you know, is this person your mom? And Angenette, she kind of clammed up and she said no. She clearly said no, but now we're starting to find out that actually, you know, Angenette is doing like a 360 and now she's saying, no, that was my mom. So, I mean, it's obvious. I really doubt that Angenette was confused. I think what honestly happened, and I hate to stand up for a liar because Angenette did lie, but I think what happened was she was afraid. She's trying to put on a good impression. I think more than likely she probably does just want to come to America. She probably kind of likes Royal enough where she'd want to stay with him. And I think she's like, I'm just going to stick this one out. And so she's trying to do anything she can do. I think she's trying to say anything she can say. And she lied. And for sure, without a doubt, her mom did message this guy because, you know, Angenette was like, no, her name would end with Luna. Well, now they're starting to say that the name like changed and it did end with Luna and now it doesn't. It really doesn't make any sense, but they're basically acting like after Chantel called out Angenette, the name that was messaging her Uncle Runson, you know, now changed on Facebook. So Chantel, she sat down with Angenette and she called her out for it and said, okay, well, you know, first you were saying this, now you're saying that, now the name changed. It was one thing after another. And Angenette basically just said, no, that is my mom. And so she did clearly lie. I mean, you guys can put in the comments below what you think, but it's clear as day. She lied, but I feel like she lied because she is nervous and she is afraid and she wants them to like her. And it's pretty obvious they're not really liking her all that much. So I think she lied. I don't know what her mom was trying to get a new husband or just trying to be friendly to the family. I don't know, but it is pretty obvious that the mom definitely did message her. And then once Chantel was like, wait a second, you clearly lied, she got a little vocal, got a little upset. She wasn't like, you know, going up screaming, but she was like, you know what? Okay, I don't trust you. She word for word said, I do not trust you, and I think you should just stay here in the Philippines and my brother can come back with us to America. And what did Angenette do? She burst into tears. Now, Angenette definitely does seem to cry kind of a lot, so we could probably say she might be a tad bit dramatic, but still, if my, you know, brother-in-law, assuming I was married, told me to stay in a different country and to basically end my relationship with his sister, I wouldn't be very happy either. So I get it. She's emotional, she's sad, she's trying to put on a good impression, at least I think, and this family, you know, Chantel and the mom and kind of even the dad and the siblings really, they do not like her. So yeah, Angenette was hysterically sad and Chantel Chantel was walking around like she was some mean girl. It was not cool, and she was just being really mean. So sorry, I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, but yeah, that happened. Chantel was upset, and around that same time though, you know, if you guys don't know, the whole family Chantel, they were in, I want to say Manila. They were in a gigantic city in the Philippines. Then they ended up going back to Angenette, sorry, excuse me. They went back to Angenette's hometown, and they got to meet her mom and dad and brother and sister, and it was kind of just sad. I mean, for those of you guys that watch 90 Day Fiance, the season with Ed and Rose, Rose was from the Philippines too. I have no idea if it's anywhere near Angenette, but the house and the living situation, it was really similar to Rose's. I mean, they had just a lot of scraps and whatnot. Like the house literally was just a couple 2x4s, a metal roof. I mean, Angenette, I think she was honestly really embarrassed by the house because she kept walking around. It was just weird. It sucked. I feel bad for this family. Like the family, I kind of feel like they're nice, normal people, and the family Chantel are totally looking down at them. Now, I don't know either of their money situations. I don't even know what the family Chantel even do for work or anything, but they probably have a little bit more money than, you know, Angenette's family. And Angenette's family, they were kind of saying it, that, you know, hey, they probably kind of looked down at us because they came with gifts and they were giving crap. And when they were giving the house tour, you could look at Chantel and you could look at the mom and dad, and I feel like they were kind of like, oh my God, this house is really small and it's barely put together. I feel like they were kind of looking down at them, which wasn't cool because we got to see Angenette's family, and to me, they seem pretty genuine, they seem pretty honest, they seem pretty normal and nice and just authentic people. So I don't have any problem with them whatsoever. Maybe I am just totally Team Angenette this time, but I don't think they're bad people at all. But you could just see the mom and everyone, they were kind of trying to poke and question and just kind of be rude with the family. And honestly, Angenette's family, they seem to actually kind of like Royal to the extent where I feel like they're looking at him saying, hey, if she goes with Royal, she can provide us a better life, you know, then she can work, she can send us money. That's kind of how they were wording it. So I think they see Royal and they go, he's a nice enough, good enough looking guy. He seems okay. You know, he's fine for our daughter. That's the impression I kind of had. Maybe they really do like him. Maybe they don't know anything about him. I don't know. But that's kind of the idea I got from them. And Royal was somewhat sort of quiet last night. He was kind of keeping to himself until, you know, Chantel sat down with Angenette and screamed at her and called her out and made her cry. Then we kind of got to see Royal come out, and he was even kind of sitting down with Chantel saying, you know, what's your problem? And he was doing a little bit of this, probably a little too much. He had some liquid courage, and he did kind of call out his family, and he basically just said, this is supposed to be the best day of my life, and you guys are clearly ruining it, which is exactly what they are doing. Keep in mind, I don't like Royal either, but that is exactly what the mom and Chantel are doing. Everyone else, for the most part, they're just keeping their mouth shut. But Karen and Chantel, I don't know if they're doing this for the TV show, or if they just love drama, or if they're just awful people, but every 2 seconds, they're running their mouth, especially Karen. Chantel, she kind of sits there and every once in a while she'll call someone out or do something stupid, but I mean Karen, it's every half a second with her. She's either screaming at someone or she's saying something really stupid, or her new favorite thing is to just use these gigantically huge words like this. I mean, just words any normal person, even a sophisticated person, would never have in their vocabulary. She's saying these words like, what are you even, you know, fictitious, and they're gonna extort you, and this. It's like, what kind of what are you talking about? Like, she thinks she's some smart, I don't even know, philosopher or something, and it's just like, Karen, you're talking about made up stuff with Angenette. Like, the dumbest thing with this whole thing is they keep saying that Angenette's mom messaging her uncle is some kind of a scam, they're gonna do this and that, but I mean, it's like, number one, we don't know what she messaged him. Number two, we don't even know if it was her, but assuming it was her that messaged him, it didn't sound like she was begging for money. Now, maybe I heard it wrong, maybe I saw it wrong, but it did not seem like she was, you know, reaching out for money or for anything like that. So if she was just reaching out saying, hey, hi, who gives a crap? But maybe there's more to the story, but I really just feel like Karen and Chantel, they're just trying to kind of grab onto some drama, and I don't know if it's for the show or if they are really just trying to kind of find a reason not to like Angenette, but I know one thing, it is clear as day that Angenette is extremely uncomfortable, and now she's even basically said it. I'm not marrying Royal's family, I'm marrying Royal. I don't care if they don't trust me, and I don't care if they don't like me. I just want to be with Royal. So she's pretty much just, ruined, I don't even think she is. They've ruined their relationship with her. And I don't see how these two, or these three, I guess, with Karen and Chantel and Angenette, are ever going to repair that relationship. So sorry for that little rant, but yeah, that was really starting to annoy me. Karen last night, oh my God. That was annoying me. Now let's fast forward over to the Dominican Republic. My words are all getting all tangled up, but to the Dominican Republic because we got to see Alejandro and Nicole and even Nicole's mom, Lita. Now this is really weird. I'm also a similar situation with Karen. If there are two just mean people in this season, it is Nicole's mom and Pedro's mom and Karen. These two women are just mean. Alejandro is still in the Dominican Republic. Last we saw him, he was at his relative's house with Nicole. He brought her over there to meet everyone, and what did Nicole do within about 5 seconds? She got fired up. Basically over nothing. When I first saw it, I could kind of somewhat see her side, but now that I rewatched it, I'm like, you know what? He didn't do a freaking thing. All he did was bring her gifts, and her mom was putting a bunch of BS in the back of her head because she was saying he just wants to do this and that, and he's just gonna, y'all know what I mean. He just wants this and that with you, and that's it, and he's going to give you gifts and whatnot just so he can get that from you, and that's all. And, the mom's BS kind of stuck in her head, and one thing led to another, and Nicole flipped up, and she just ran out of the party, and everyone in the family was like, what's her deal? Because keep in mind, this is the first time they ever met her, so obviously, really embarrassing for Nicole, and really embarrassing for Alejandro. But we got to see them the next day, and what does Alejandro do? He knocks on her door with a bouquet of flowers. I mean, dude, guy, if I was Alejandro, I would honestly say, for my own sanity, I would say, okay, well that just confirmed that Nicole's out of her mind crazy, so I'm never gonna ever talk to her ever again. But he just did the complete opposite. He must really like her, or he wants to be on the show, I don't know, but he must like something about her, because he literally went back the next day with a bouquet of roses, and he was like apologizing to her, when in my eyes, she did at least 98% of everything wrong. Like 95% everything that went wrong in that situation was her, not him. So I don't know what he's apologizing for, but he was. And then she sat down and she actually did kind of admit, that was wrong. My mom is putting stuff in my head, and that's kind of where I was at. So he was like, well, I'm sorry. He got to apologize, and finally they made up. But she was like, you need to meet up with my mom again. And this is when the whole thing just got stupid, because this mom, just like Karen, is a complete moron. She's a complete idiot. I'm sorry if you guys like her, but she's just an idiot. So they met up with her. She was telling all of her friends and coworkers that she works with that she has no interest in even meeting him. I've never even met someone that, even in my situation, my eyes, if I've had someone that has wronged me, I don't think I've ever hated someone as much as, Nicole's mom hates Alejandro, and they have literally met for like 5 or 10 minutes. I get that him trying to stay at her house, he was probably pushing it a little bit, and that probably wasn't the most polite thing, but it's like, come on, give the guy a break. She never even gave the guy a shot. So, long story short, they met up in a park, they started talking. Alejandro, he apologized and apologized and apologized. He was like, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have just thought I was gonna stay at your house. And, Lita, she went off on him. She was calling him a dirtbag and this and that, and she was talking about his cologne, and she went off. But finally, after he apologized like 300 times, she finally said, I accept your apology, and maybe we can start to slowly kind of talk about maybe having somewhat of a relationship. And right when things started to kind of get good, Nicole tells her mom that, hey, by the way, we should probably tell you that he is still legally married. And of course, what does she do? She flipped out, she called him every name in the book, and she basically stormed off. And Alejandro, who, you have to give the guy some credit, she was screaming at him, but he wasn't screaming back at her, but he was definitely not taking it. Like, she was like calling him this, that, and the other, and he was saying, hey, I just told you the honest truth, and I'm in the process of getting a divorce. That's why I hate this so much, though, because if I was Nicole or Alejandro, I would tell her, I'm not still married, I'm in the process of getting a divorce. It's wording it in two different ways. The way that Nicole worded it, it would sound like he is still married and still in a committed marriage, but that's not the case. As far as we know, they're in the process of getting a divorce. They're not going to be married much longer. Okay, they're basically done. That's how I would word it, but they word it like they're still in some real marriage, and Nicole's mom went off on Alejandro, she went off on Nicole, and that was it. It was so stupid. And the worst thing is, we got to see in a preview that Alejandro buys Nicole a ring. So he must really love this girl. I just cannot figure out why for the life of me, because nothing against Nicole, but she's like her mom. She's a loudmouth. She's constant drama. What is so amazing about her? But something about her, I guess Alejandro seems to love. And if this guy actually proposes to her while he's still technically legally married, I mean, I get the idea behind it, but it's like, dude, finish one business and then go finish one marriage, you know, and then move on to some other stuff. It's like, dude, come on, you're not even legally married. I get it if you are in the process of getting a divorce and you want to casually date, but you're talking about getting engaged to a woman and you're still legally married. It's like the Georgie and Darcy thing. You're moving a little fast. So I don't know what happens with these two. I have heard spoilers that they are possibly still together, but I mean, it is just like, wow. This guy must really either want to be on this show, or he must really either love her if he is really going to put up with Nicole and her crazy mom. And I'm sorry if that offends anyone, but it is just the truth. She's just like Karen. She's mean. And for Chantel and Pedro and, you know, everyone else and the parents and Angenette and Royal, it doesn't look like things get much better, because it looks like what goes down, I believe, is they have like a 2-day wedding ceremony in the Philippines, and the first day is just like dancing and party and fun. And so on that first day, maybe they all had a little bit of this, a little bit of liquid courage, and they were kind of getting a little bit verbal. And it does kind of look like the Chantel and the mom, who, I'll say it again, are crazy and rude. They pulled Angenette and her mom to the side, and thank God, I don't think Angenette's mom can speak much English, because it sounds like they just went off on her, went off on both of them, really. And Angenette was kind of translating for the mom. And I believe Angenette just walked away and she just said the word that starts with an F that you can only imagine to Chantel's entire family, and she stormed off. So, I mean, I don't understand the point. If I was in their shoes, they're already legally married, so if you do have these reservations, why didn't you say them months and months and months before when they weren't already legally married? They're legally married. There's no wedding you can stop. It's already a done deal. It's just a second wedding. So for Chantel and Karen to call her a scam and all this and that, it's honestly just rude, and I kind of feel bad for Angenette. But once again, I'll say it again, I say it every week, maybe I am just a gullible sucker. So guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please, those of you that do watch the show, and I know a lot of you guys do actually watch The Family Chantel, it's either like you either love it like me, or you hate it. And if you do love it, comment below your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you hate it, hey, feel free to chime in to what you guys think too. I do think this show is pretty good. It's shocking, and I think because we don't see a lot of Chantel and Pedro, it makes it a lot better. But either way, make sure to comment below everyone's thoughts. Let me know if you enjoyed the last video, and also if you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.